Hello, I like money.
Hello.
If you're looking for ways on how to get rich, well, you've come to the right place, because this meerkat knows exactly how to make those gold rolling in. I'll be teaching you every money-making opportunity, from choosing the right crops and skills to starting your very own pyramid scheme.
Hip hip. Hooray!
I'm just kidding. Please don't do that. But remember, you don't have to do everything listed here to get rich. I'm just giving you options to help you decide which best suits your playstyle. So sit back and get ready to live like a Kardashian in Sunhaven. There's a lot of ways to earn gold in Sunhaven, and you can do it passively or actively. But however you want to do it can be done through farming, mining, fishing, or just making quick gold. So let's first talk about the most classic among all options, farming. The farming store. There are two types of seeds in Sunhaven. Those that has no seasonal requirements, which are all available from the general store, and then there's the seasonal seeds that you can buy from Catherine's farming store. The seeds from the general store are the ones that you'd be needing the most if you're going to be cooking, and the ones on Catherine's are the money makers for the season. Usually, the higher the price of the seed means the higher the sale price of the crop, and this is true for most of the crops, making the most expensive seeds from the farming store to be the best seeds to plant for the season. But of course, you won't be able to sustain your life if you bought those ever-expensive shimmer root on your first week, not to mention that its ROI takes 2 weeks. It's just not efficient for a new farmer. But don't worry, you can go crazy with that during your second year. So as a new farmer, the best crop to invest for every season, especially during your first year, are those that yields multiple times. In spring, these are the peas, green beans, kiwi, and watermelon. Some seeds can even be harvested for 2 full seasons. But in case you're not convinced, let's do the math. Let's take peas for example. They're sold for 300 gold in the farming store, and it grows for 12 days, where it produces its first yield by then. There are 28 days for every season, so if you plan it on your first day in Sunhaven, you'd still have 16 days more on the calendar. And peas will grow every 2 days, which means you'll get to harvest it 9 times in spring, where you'll earn 675 gold, giving you a profit of 375 gold for just 1 pea seed planted. And if you use Simple Earth fertilizer on it, which is sold at the farming store for only 100 gold, then there's a good chance that it'll give ×2 crop for every harvest. Honestly, I'd take that chance, especially for crops that grows for 2 full seasons. Pair this technique with tiller's tip and propagation skills on max, and consider fertile land on max too if you plan to put fertilizer on the crop, and you'll be profiting from this technique during your first year. And you're probably wondering how the heck can you afford those seeds during the first day, especially after Anne conned you with those rusty farming tools? Good question. During character creation, you'd have the option to select the royalty passive, which gives you 1000 gold instead of permanent stats and other stuffs. You'd also want to bargain with Anne so that you'd only get the tools for 150 gold, leaving you with 850 gold to blow up. With that, you can get 2 pea seeds for 600 gold and 2 earth fertilizers for 200 gold. That's good for starters, because that's a guaranteed 550 gold profit by the end of the season. It doesn't seem much, but passive income is still passive income, and while waiting for your harvest, you can do a bunch of other stuff that's listed in this guide as well. You can also choose the richest keepsake at the beginning of the game if you really value gold, but I'll leave that one as optional. So worry about the main quest when you get enough money to buy more wheat seeds instead. I tried this method on a new save, and here's the result of its Spring 28 Year 1. Anyways, I'll let you do the math for the other crops that provide multiple harvests, but here's the complete list per season if you want to go with this technique. For spring, we have peas, green beans, kiwi, and watermelons. watermelons grow for 2 full seasons. Summer seeds grow throughout summer and fall, so you'd really want to have those. These are cotton, coffee, and honeysuckle. Coffee is better processed in kegs. For winter, we have candy cane. The general store, and how to utilize it for cooking. So I mentioned earlier that the seeds sold at the general store can be planted at any season and that it's most needed in cooking. For this technique, you'd want to craft your cooking pot and baker station early in the game and plant lots and lots and lots of tomatoes, sugarcane, and wheat because we'll be making tons of tomato bread which sells for a whopping 1,740 gold per serving. How much is the profit? Here's the breakdown. You'll first be needing to make tomato juice which needs 6 tomato seeds and cost 480 gold. You also need 1 sugar whose seeds cost 80 gold, leaving you with 560 gold expense. Now you can sell the juice as it is, and you'd still get 496 gold per serving profit. But if you want to earn more, you'd want to turn the juice into a tomato bread. Considering the 560 gold expense for the juice, and we'd need 1 more sugar for 80 gold, and 3 wheat seeds for 120 gold, the total expense would be 760 gold. You can sell the bread for 1,740 gold with a total expense of 760 gold, which equal to 980 gold profit per serving. Now ain't that yummy? This method only works if you have 3 skill points on culinary mastery and can be further optimized if you have max skill points on leftovers and propagation. Fertiland is optional if you plan on using fertilizers, which would be good if you use Advanced Earth Fertilizer or Advanced Magic Fertilizer. Pair this with a Thrift Hunter on max and you'd be profiting more with this method. The General Store for Thrift Hunter. Since I've already mentioned the Thrift Hunter skill earlier, let me tell you that this method has never failed me. It's my go-to technique each time I start a new save or when first unlocking Nelvari and Withergate. Basically, you'd want to max out your Thrift Hunter skill and go to the general store every day. You'd want to buy all the seeds on sale because that is a sure profit whether you choose to use the crop for cooking or sell them as they are. Oh, and don't forget to craft royal totems for more passive income. Animals. The last one in farming is of course animals. Some choose to buy chicken and cows to make lots of cheese or other food for selling. Others buy sheep for secure gold. But me, I like pigs the most. Whether you chose your grower or cooking method, pigs are super great to have because they give earth crystals that you can turn into earth fertilizers. This is great in the long run because you'll be able to make advanced earth fertilizer, which is super worth it to put on all your crops. Also, pigs gives golden pomegranate once you've unlocked the golden heart skill. This gives plus 2 HP and mana every time you eat it and without any limit. Not to mention, you'd get 200 gold for eating it. You'd also need to plant or forage lots of apples for compost though, so planting apple trees and maxing out Horn of Plenty is great for this method. But if you're lazy and prefer solid gold instead of efficiency, consider having sheeps. You'd have to put 1 skill point on New Friends to unlock sheep in Kitty's shop. It's sold there for 4,000 gold and gives you wool every day which you can sell for 250 gold or 275 gold if you have top shelf skill on max. However, animals need food every day, and 1 animal food is 100 gold down the drain if you choose to buy it from Kitty's shop. If you want this method to work, you'd want to max out your food delivery skills so you don't have to worry about animal food in the early game. You'd also want to plant some wheat that you could turn into animal food in your farmer's table. Should you choose to do that, you'll have your ROI in just 16 days. And if you bought an auto feeder at the town hall for 1k, ROI will still be in 20 days instead of 16. And that's for a single sheep. There's also a chance for ×2 wool if you max out on happy animals. But, whichever animal you chose, don't forget to max the zookeeper skill for more passive income. While waiting for your crops to grow, you'd want to try out mining, because all the money-making passive skills are in the mining skill tree, and the active money-making methods here are the most profitable of all methods. In the early game, you just want to sweep the first few floors numerous times, get enough ores to turn into bars, which you should then turn into keys, because the initial goal is not to profit, but to reach the last floors of the mines, because that's where the money is. So just keep digging and unlocking those gates. As you go through the mines, you're bound to advance on your skill tree. You'd want to max out Hidden Gems, Rich Deposit, the Cumulus, Mystic Miner, Precious Stones, Worthwhile Restoration, Crystal Collector, Looter's Fortune, Crushing Blow, Blast Mining, and Treasure Hunter for active money making. For passive money making, max out Savings, Industrial, Feng Shui, only if you like decorating that is, Resourceful, and Small Investor. One sweep of the last area would give you a whopping 5,000 to 20,000 gold worth of gems with this build, excluding the gold from the mobs and destructible drops. Use the vacuum skills at the good spots for maximum efficiency. And for the ores, you can choose to sell it if you're lazy, or use it in crafting, which gets more gold. Match it with Smelting Mastery, Armor Smith, and Efficient Smith on max, and put those excess ores into good use by crafting armor pieces that you could sell for a good price. Oh, and remember to transmute your excess stones into copper bars at the alchemy table. Sandstone farming. Once you get your Sanad or Glorit pickaxe, you might want to consider sandstone farming. This area generates sandstone every day, and it's very much worth trying once you've maxed your blast mining skill, because this method gives 5,000 to 10,000 gold in just 2 to 4 in-game hours. All you have to do is clear the sandstone in both areas where vacuum skill is highly recommended to utilize, and then sell the sandstone at the portal and watch your gold rolling in the next day. Now let's talk about the quick ways of getting gold. First, the passive way. Max your appreciation skill and reach 10 hearts with any 5 romanceable NPCs. This method secures a maximum of 1,000 gold per day, as the appreciation skill gives 200 gold for every romanceable you have at 10 hearts. You'd also want to max your gratuity skill to earn 500 gold every day. Just make sure that you did, or are planning to do, tons and tons of port quests. The second is my favorite method, crafting. To make the most of this method, you'd have to befriend Cloud and Anne to get their keepsakes. Cloud's keepsake gives 400 gold every day, while Anne's keepsake gives 200 gold plus 8 gold per craft. Anne's keepsake stacks with the industrial skill, which gives extra yummy income for crafters. In this method, you just want to set up your crafts for the day and leave it be for tomorrow or later the same day. You can queue your cooking, smelting, or just make tons and tons of wood planks if you have too much logs. And then, before going to bed, you'd want to equip Cloud's keepsake. Once you get up, don't forget to switch it with Anne's. Head over to your crafts and watch that gold rolling into your pocket. The third one is marriage. Ever wonder why Cloud is here? It's because he loves tomatoes, which I plan a lot because you probably already know why. Also, he gave me his spare key, which made me rich. And I thought it couldn't get better. That's until I married him. Little did I know that he'd make me richer than he already had, because his wedding ring gives an additional 450 gold per day, which stacks with his keepsake, so wearing his wedding ring and his keepsake is a sure 850 gold passive income each morning. The last one is Elven grapes. Unlike other crops, Elven grapes grow in just one day. It gives the most gold in terms of farming, but takes a lot of effort since it's special. You'd have to pour some of your mana into the crops. Fair warning though, this method is not for the lazy. I tried buying and planting 200 grape seeds at one point, and I swear I would never ever do it again, even if the profit was kinda good. And we're on to the last method, fishing. First for the passive ways. It's gotta be the fishing nets. The skills that benefit this method are the ones on the third row at the fishing skill tree, but my top picks are well-woven, salvage, and premium permit for both small and large fishing nets. If you choose to only use small fishing nets, buy the permit at Peter's and max out the bountiful harvest skill. Should you choose to only use large fishing nets, however, you should also buy the permit at Peter's, max bountiful harvest, automation, net positive, and efficiency. Now for active fishing. You'd want to use the Nulvari fishing rod sold by Sylvius at the Nulvari's entrance. Max out freshly caught, upgraded lure, and twin hooks. Consider lost booty if you need orbs. If you're lazy to fish like me, getting the bubble net skill is a better option. But do note that all the skills that I previously mentioned does not work on bubble net, except for freshly caught, which I'm not entirely fond of since it's just not worth it compared to other options. I'm real sorry, fishing lovers. The skills that you want to max out if you ever choose the bubble net method are familiar waters, advanced fish mapping, spawning season, and kin eye. Having this set of skills would make it easier to spawn and locate gold rarity fishes like golden carp, which sells for 850 gold. Not bad. Honestly though, fishing did not generate more income than I expected it to. But it's a good method to use in Nulvari and Withergate for earning extra orbs and tickets. I'll discuss more about orbs and ticket methods on my next video. So, which method is the best, you might ask? All the passive ones are great to have, of course, such as the mining and exploration skills that I mentioned, and paired with farming. For the active methods, I'm personally obsessed with the sandstone farming and crafting. But there is actually no best method, since these methods are better mixed and matched or done all at once like I did. I was able to generate more than 1 million gold during my winter year 1 by doing all of these, and then I blew it up on furnitures during my spring year 2. But that's it for now. Which method did you like the most? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more indie game guides coming your way. Bye!